Today, I'm talking to the founders of Metis AI. They are tackling a huge problem. Today's internet is built for human, not for AI agents. Their solutions, a breakthrough Model Context Protocol that will let AI work across systems faster and accurate. Let's talk to the founder about their journey.
Yeah, do you want to maybe kick it off?
Sure, yeah. I'm Ayush. I'm on the technical side of the company with Marcus. I met Marcus through a class at Duke. We were the only undergrads in a graduate level class. And then we met at office hours where I actually tried asking the TA a question, but then Marcus interjected and said, hey, this is actually how you solve the question. I was like, hey, I wasn't talking to you, I was talking to the TA. But then ever since then, I realized he was a really smart guy. Yeah. And then I met Aryan because we've been childhood friends and we've always just been rattling ideas off of each other. And we got really close. And then all three of us came together. We're trying to see how agents are going to view the internet and kind of landed upon this idea. Yeah.
All right, I'm Marcus. So I'm also on the technical side, like Ayush said. My background is sort of in like the research side of things, so I'm really interested in like building up AI as a technology. So yeah, I'm just excited to be here and excited to be doing really cool things.
Yeah, and I'm Aryan. I guess similar to these guys, my background is also more from like an industrial standpoint, where I spent a lot of time working at different startups and working at different like investing funds. I handle everything non-technical as well as some basic product stuff and get the pleasure of being CEO.
Amazing. So share with us what is Metis and exactly how did you come up with this idea?
Yeah. So actually getting here was it was a bit of a roundabout way of doing it. We actually started off building a bank for construction people. So nothing related to AI, nothing even close to quote unquote this new internet. But I think we really quickly realized that a bank was not what we were well suited to build, nor did we have a lot of interest in it. And so when we were thinking about, okay, what do we want to do next with our lives? I think we all really believed in having these autonomous AI agents that could kind of go out and accomplish tasks on behalf of us as humans without needing external input. And when we took a very deep look into what's preventing that from happening today, a big reasoning for that is just due to the way the internet is currently built, and it's not built for these agents. And so that's kind of where we came up with Metis, and we tried a bunch of things, and we eventually settled on MCPs, but that was the catalyst.
Well, obviously you guys are fresh graduate. So how did you start up with the journey? Like even think about the banking business first. So did you have any mentor, like you come across anybody who inspired you about this idea?
Yeah, I think we were really fortunate. We actually haven't graduated yet, but we were really fortunate where my dad spent a lot of time in entrepreneurship, and so he had a startup. And so kind of watching him go through his journey really inspired me, but also kind of being in Silicon Valley and being in the Bay Area, I think there's an energy here that's really hard to replicate anywhere else. And so when you see everybody else kind of going after and trying to start their own thing, it's very contagious, and it kind of forces you to start to think, okay, what if I did my own thing? And I think for us, for all of us, we all were not only inspired, but we all really wanted to do something of our own. And so that was very top of mind for us, where it wasn't like, okay, we want to find the perfect idea. It was more so, we really like working with each other and we want to do our own business. And so it was more so looking for what would be the right opportunity for us to make that happen.
So after you formed this idea, did you actually run into anything like, you fail on trying on that, and then that made you feel like, oh, maybe it's wrong. Like maybe we don't have enough, capability to do that. Have you run into any of those like failed situation?
Yeah, I would say one was when we were building the bank for construction workers. We built out a pretty cool solution. We talked to a lot of contractors, and we were like, oh, this is a really big problem. This is a really big need. But then we sort of realized how fragmented the industry was. There's so many people. It's really hard to distribute your product when there's like, not a lot of people are online. Not a lot of people want to adopt new technology. We were like, oh no, like we can make some money doing this, but it's going to be a really long ride. It's going to be hard to scale up quick. It's going to be hard to like capture a lot of the market. So then we were like, what do we do? Like, do we just, I was about to go to Citadel Securities for the summer. Aryan was going to keep working at his startup. Marcus was going to have his internship. We were going to almost disband and do our own thing. But then we were like, hey, no, we have like this opportunity where we don't have too many responsibilities to family, to anything, like our family, obviously, our parents. But we were like, okay, let's try to regroup and rethink of what our strengths are. And our strength is like pretty much AI. Like that's, we all talk AI, we know AI. I worked at like Annapurna Labs, which kind of built like Trainium, a chip kind of for inference. And that's basically where we sort of landed upon this other idea. We started seeing more validation there. We got really excited, started building more validation until we're like at this point, and we're all super excited. We feel this is basically placed to our strengths. We aren't doing some like thing that's kind of off there, but things that we interact with on an everyday basis, and I think that's really helpful. Yeah, so persevering through that was really great.
That's awesome, because the AI public trends basically just started about 2 or 3 years ago. And so in that case, when you started having this idea, you were ahead of the trend.
Yeah, I think a big part of our thesis was we were seeing this trend occurring and we were thinking about what is next. So it's like, based off of what we're seeing in the market today, where do we think it's heading, and then building towards that, where we think this is going to land in the next couple of years. But a lot of it was like just synthesizing current information and forming some conviction and kind of creating a thesis for where we think it's going to go and building on that.
What is the one biggest compromise that you have over the last 2-3 years as a young self, right? You guys were so young, and then maybe your other college friend was having fun, enjoying family care and finances. And so to every one of you, what was the biggest sacrifice or compromise that you're paying for where you are today?
Yeah, I think for a lot of us, we're rising seniors right now. So we're all sort of giving up our senior year of college to work on this. So that's pretty, like all of our friends are obviously going to be there. It's like the last time to do all this. So we're giving that up for, I guess, the opportunity to do something like sort of like, I guess, a once in a lifetime sort of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and I also think like Ayush and I, we both had very stable jobs that we were really excited to do. And it was a very safe path where it was like, you do this and you know exactly what your outcome is going to look like. You know exactly how much you're going to make. It's a very, very and very lucrative paths as well. But I think we kind of realized that we wanted to better ourselves, and I think the other sacrifice that we're all making is we work a lot. Like we work 7 days a week, we work 12 to 14 hours a day, and so that's a big sacrifice. Where it's like we get to see all of our friends kind of exploring and having fun, and there's a lot of things that we are definitely missing out on. But it's a sacrifice that we are willing to make and that we're excited to make because we are really energized by what we are doing, and we really believe in the potential of kind of what we're building.
Guys, this is such an inspiration, answer. And so I really love the one point that you talk about, that both of you or three of you, you had a secure summer job and you accumulate money, also future career potential through those. And then you think, doing this is basically, yes, it's risk taking, but you also know if it doesn't work, you still had a pretty safe path ahead of you. Am I right?
Yeah, I'd say sort of that. Like we think we can hopefully get into a stable job if this doesn't work out. But I think we all believe that this will work out. We have conviction in our idea. We think we know what the internet's going to look like, and we think our solution is well apt for it. But yeah, I think like the biggest thing was we were really grateful to basically, it almost felt like we knew exactly what our life was going to look like. Like we kind of knew if we took these offers, we would work at a place that had like some interest, that had like interesting work. We would meet cool people. But I guess we just like wanted to take a risk and wanted to build something by ourselves where we have a little more ownership, a little more, we like talk to customers, we like deliver product. Having that sort of expertise just makes us like much more well-rounded individuals in terms of like work, but also socially. And yeah, I think it's just something we always wanted to do, and we're just at like a very well-apt time because we were so young to just maybe spend a year and then whatever comes after, we have enough drive and dedication to do this. We kept enough drive and dedication to do anything else. And I think that's what it is.
Amazing. So far along the journey, did you need to get your parents' help financially?
Actually, I think we were pretty grateful. I mean, there are definitely small instances here and there, like for paying off some for paying for food and stuff like that. But yeah, I think we're pretty grateful where we all worked over the summers, and so we had some money saved up, but also beyond that, we got some we got into some programs and got some grants and got some funding early on, which helped kind of lower a lot of that burden on ourselves financially. But yeah, I think definitely small instances, but nothing prohibitive. I think if anybody wanted to do something of their own, financials should not be something that's holding you back.
Yeah. More than financially, I would say, I think parents were skeptical on hey, should you really be leaving this traditional route of hey, it's scary because because present money right now when you're young can also you're also a financial advisor, it can increase and compound interest can make the money worth so much more in the future. So taking a risk and taking money out of your pocket now is
missing those years.
Yeah, you're behind. Exactly. So they were is this really what you want to do? And it was just sort of a back and forth. But when you realize that hey, I think some of the grants helped convince them, but also just seeing our conviction in the idea, talking them through the idea, almost convincing them that hey, look at this idea is gonna really work. They're okay, yeah, I trust you. And I think again, being young really helps. So yeah.
Amazing. So now it comes to another set of questions about your leadership, about how do you work with each other?
Yeah, I think a big way that we solve conflict is really just deep communication. If there is anything that we don't fully align on, we really just have to talk it out. I think, some people do maybe a vote 2-1 or maybe you could do that, but then one person's upset and then you don't really, they feel devalued. Right. So I think we always work to get to a point where everybody is understood and everybody's opinion is taken into consideration, and we move forwards with everybody's insight in mind, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Then in this case,
no. Just gonna say, I think the other thing that's helpful is we all have very complementary skill sets, which is which makes it not only easy to work with one another, but I think we all have a lot of trust in each other's decision making, capabilities. And so, for example, if somebody if Ayush says something about what he's working on, and we have inputs, we will voice our inputs, but at the end of the day, we trust Ayush very deeply, and we know his skill level and capabilities. And so, if he says, "No, I want to do this instead," he has a lot more insight into this problem than we do. And so, it's one of those things where it's we try to serve as guiding forces for all three of each other, but at the end of the day, we're each responsible for our own part of what we're working on. And we kind of have that final say on that part that we're working on, which I think also helps us on the conflict side.
Amazing. So in that case, it's there's also one myth about young people, because you guys were, get into Y Combinator early, and then you also got your first seed round, funding. And in that case, it's what is one element led you to have that success, that the investors were trusting you?
Yeah, I think I think a big element of that is luck, right? There's a lot of things you can't control, and we definitely got
a lot of competitors.
Yeah, and we got very lucky. But I think the other thing that definitely helped was, what really matters at this stage is the team, and the team's kind of not only understanding with one each other, but again, do we believe and do we have conviction that they are going to be the ones to win in this space? And I think the one advantage that we kind of had was because we already have deep relationships with each other and we trust each other a lot. I think hopefully it was very apparent to them as well that, okay, these guys really enjoy working with each other. They're here for the long run, and we have deep conviction in their ability to execute. And so I think we got lucky with that as well, whereas we had people willing to back us on that standpoint and belief. But I think that's ultimately the only thing that really matters at the stage is it's not your idea, it's not the market you're in, it's just your team and your ability to execute. And I think that was kind of one of our differentiation points.
Yeah, I'd also say conviction in the idea is a little bit is also what they sort of look for. Like, hey, are these people really committed to doing this? Are they just doing this for the money? Are they doing this for, you know, like the clout that comes with working at some of these working at some of these accelerators? And I think showing that, hey, because just being genuinely invested in your idea and like thinking it's gonna actually work really helps. So yeah, just believe in your product.
Do you have any competitors in the same space?
A ton. I mean, you could argue Google is a big competitor, but at the end of the day, like I mentioned, a lot of this stuff just comes down to execution. And so we believe that our idea is differentiated. We think that our idea is going to win, and we're willing to out execute anybody and out compete anybody, which is kind of our core conviction and belief. And it's actually good to have competitors because it means that the market is validated. If other people are going after the same market, it means the market opportunity is there. And the way we view it is it's a very blue ocean or greenfield market opportunity where there's a lot of room for multiple players to accrue and capture lots of value. And so while, you know, it's scary to have competitors, we're very grateful that we also have competitors because one, it keeps us honest, it keeps us working really hard, but two, it again helps validate out that market.
Yeah. Arden said something funny. Like when we first were talking about competitors in this space, I was like, hey, look at this other company doing the same thing. And Arden's like, hey, look, if you think of an idea and you have no competitors, you're either a genius who's gonna who's like the world's never seen before, or you're an idiot because the idea is not like validated in the market and there's a reason it doesn't exist. 99% of the time, it's the second one. So it's good to have competitors, and it's good to sort of see that you don't want your competitors to be like Google and Amazon and already inbuilt. And I mean, maybe like look at Cursor like beating out Copilot, but I think having like smaller, like seeing other small companies start up doing the things you're doing, it's like, oh, cool. Like, let's beat them. Like, we can do it. So, yeah.
In that case, how do you see yourself launch in the future? Like you're three awesome talent, right? And then also you work with each other so much. Now that maybe, you know, you're expanding, you're building your team, and then you will have a lot other people to work with. How do you see you and Metis launch in that future, and you can really like live up and also go along with that journey?
Yeah, I think the thing that's most important to us is finding people that are like work like us in the same sense that they are mission aligned. And the number one thing that we feel we can control is who we hire, right? A lot of things you can't control, but you can control who you bring onto your team. 100%. And so being very intentional with who we bring on. And we believe our biggest moat is not technology, it's not the market, it's the talent that we have on the team. So the thing that is really important is building a very talent-dense team and making sure that everyone we hire is someone that is truly smarter than us and contributes to the team in a differentiated way. And so that's really important for us in the future. And we think if we get that part right, everything else will kind of build around that. And so it's a chicken and the egg problem almost. Yes. But in terms of launching, we truly think that, you know, we're at a really good place. We have good talent. We think we can attract the best talent as well. And now it's just a matter of, again, executing upon our vision and continuously building and launching from there.
Before we end this, a very important question. What advice do you have for other Gen Z peers who also had the dreams and wishes to be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I think for me, the advice would just be do it. I think it's one of those things where it's like, there's no, it's like, I always find it funny when like schools teach entrepreneurship in classrooms, because I think it's one of those things that it just can't be taught. Like I think you just have to go and learn by failure, because there's so many ups and downs and every journey is different, right? Everyone has a different entrepreneurial journey. Everyone goes through different triumphs and different failures. And the only way to really find out what that looks like is doing it yourself. So I just recommend if you're thinking about it, just do it. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can do it. You can do it on the side. You can do it while you're working a stable job. You can do it in school. That's the most risk-free way of doing it is in tandem with classes. But I'd just say just do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say just like chase opportunities and try to make as many opportunities for yourself as you can. Like just work in what you're interested in. Always like do what you're interested in, and try to set yourself up for whatever's coming next.
Amazing.
Yeah. And then I would also say, talk to people, make an effort to know the people around you, know people's strengths. like if I never met Marcus, I don't think we would have ever started this. If I never, and even just talking to my mom, my dad about this idea, hearing their opinions on it, I think using people who have a lot of experience, and luckily they're also sort of in the tech sphere, but just their experience in like either product or something else, and helping validate out ideas, figuring out plans on what new people should we talk to basically make sure this idea is solid and thought of. And then just like talk to your friends, think of ideas, talk to like potential customers, like float the idea around, see how excited they are about it, and then just start building really fast. And I think we're in this really insane golden age where you can build something in 3 days using like Claude Code and Cursor. So yeah, in addition to just do it, just talk to people. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm jealous. I wish I am 25.
Oh, and the last thing we'd say is just hustle. Like at the end of the day, the only thing that matters in this is grit and perseverance. And so, like Ayush and Marcus mentioned, like try to create your own opportunities, but a lot of that comes from just willing to outwork anyone else and willing to hustle harder than anyone else. And that's the only thing. Again, you can't control a lot of things, but you can control how hard you work.
Oh, so amazing. I'm going to summarize these 4 very important points. First of all, had the passion. You had the real interest, invest into that. And then second of all, just do it. Okay, just do it. And then third of all, open your idea, talk to your peers, your seniors, your parents, or everybody around to absorb and, digest and to verify whether your idea works. And then last but not least, work hard and hustle. Guys, thank you so much, each one of you. And I love that you're willing to spend time with me. Yeah. And don't forget, when you get into whatever level that you are, maybe when I'm some other years, some other time, we could still connect, and then I can do another podcast for another level. I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.